Hey, what's up, Gemini? How's it going? My name is Robin, and this is my channel, AriesFireTarot. So guys, welcome to my channel. So I'm getting ready to do a bonus reading for March 2020. So I do my general readings, like I do a monthly read, I do a wealth and abundance read, and then I do a star guide read. Those are my standard readings on my channel. And then for the fourth week, I find like unique readings to do, and this time I found one that was called A Mother Wound, and I thought this would be really interesting to help people maybe release family karma so that you can, kind of move on in a lighter way. So I think this is a really fascinating reading, and just keep in mind it's a general read, guys, but I do hope you find it interesting, and I hope it resonates, and I hope you find some healing in this reading. So I'm going to use the Good Tarot card deck to do this reading for you. So I'm just looking at the questions here while I shuffle. I'm just about ready to start. I don't like to waste your guys' time with a big, long, boring introduction. So I'll get started right away. Hold on. Sorry, I just had my dog walking around with her nails clicking on the floor, and it was driving me crazy. So the first card we're going to look at, you guys, is going to be the message from maternal grandmother. So sometimes karma is carried like multi-generational, right? So we really want to look at what's going on your maternal bloodline. So I had a card flip out, so I'm going to keep that. This is going to be a message from your maternal grandmother. So we have the Empress card. So I really feel like your grandmother was kind of a powerful woman. And you know what, guys, there could be some of you that don't know your grandparents. You maybe don't even know your mother, but there's always going to be the ties that bind you, right? Your genealogy and your spiritual connections, your soul connections outside of the human matrix. So really understand that this is a deep, energetic soul reading for you. So the message from your maternal grandmother is that she just really wants you to look at your opportunities, right? The Empress is a really bountiful entity, and she really wants to move forward and like basically birth all the opportunities that you're here for yourself. So if you're holding on to some sort of ancient pain that could come from, there's so many experiences in childhood where pain is derived, and then it seems like that can kind of last throughout a lifetime, which is why I'm doing this reading for all signs, because I think it's really important that we heal these lessons in order to move forward. And this is really what I'm seeing urged through here from your maternal grandmother. And I actually I'm getting a pulse. It's like, just feel your heartbeat and feel who you are and remember what you want to be for yourself. And she's just wanting you to move forward. And again, you guys, this is whether or not you know your mother or grandmother, or, whether they're still alive or if they're, passed on, they're still going to be sending messages. So this is a really deep message from your maternal grandmother, that she wants you to just really understand that it's time for you to remember who you are. And she wants you to basically put your hand on your heart and remember your own heartbeat, and you'll be able to feel hers too at the same time. So this is a really personal message for you guys. So what lesson do I have to learn because of my mother? So we've got the Three of Air. So I'm seeing that maybe she was walking in pain too. You have to remember that whatever journey you're on and whatever pain you're carrying within your life, your pain and your joys, this is the same for every single person walking around you, and your mother is no exception. So I'm seeing here that, with the Three of Air, it's the Three of Swords. She really took on pain, and she carried it, and maybe she did a great job of hiding it, and I don't think she was really supported in her life the way that she maybe wanted to have been. And it's possible that she was ostracized from her family, or at least one person that she really needed love and support from. I'm just really seeing, she felt like to a certain degree, that she was like, you know how those buoys sort of drift around in the ocean and they're just sort of bobbing away at the mercy of the tide, you know, but they're alone. They're out there alone. And I really see that this is how your mother felt for a while, you know, and maybe still does. So this is tied to into some sort of lesson that you need to learn because of your mother, and it's just, you're not disconnected, you know, and maybe you saw that and thought that maybe you had a bit of a mistrust of other people, but you know, everything is circumstantial, and because that happened doesn't mean it's going to happen to you, and you don't have to emulate that. You're not alone, you're not adrift, and maybe there was a bit of a disconnect. And if there was a disconnect between you and your mother, or you know, for some reason you know, you were adopted by another family or whatever dynamic happened, I think your mother really struggled to feel her own identity. So it could have really been imparted on you and given you a difficult path to walk. But this had nothing to do with you. This was her own burden. This was her own journey. This was her own like karmic soul lesson. But you know, as we're born into families, we have to observe other people's journeys. And as a child, it can be very difficult to not blame yourself. So just don't blame yourself because you were there like incidentally, you know, it wasn't because of you. Like it's really important to know that this was not because of you. This journey that your mother was on or could still be on would have happened with or without you. Do you know what I mean? But you got a front row seat. So let's see a message from higher angels here, you guys. So you have the Emperor here. So you have the Empress and the Emperor. So like you're really here to build something grand and divine for yourself. You know, the angels just want you to know that you have the foundation of your friends, family, angels, God, you know, your higher self, spirit, whatever you need to move on. And you can build all of this. Like if you had the best childhood ever, if you had the worst childhood ever, you really need to start separating yourself out from that and stand on your own 2 feet here and look at yourself, what you want. You know, you've got the message from your maternal grandmother, which is the Empress, and the message from the angels is the Emperor, and it's very strong and abiding, and these are the energies that sort of watch over the family and lift them up and propel them forward. And in the middle, you'll see is this sort of like kind of a lost energy, but you've been protected this whole time, but it could be from afar. So like if you reach out now, you're going to feel this love. So this is the angels, your higher angels, archangels, they're coming in and saying, you know, this was just a phase of your life, and it was a part of your soul contract, and it's time to move beyond that and understand that it was not your journey, it was your journey to witness. You know what I mean? So try to separate yourself out from that a little bit. And guys, I did an Emperor reading for all the signs in February, so you might want to check that out because the Emperor came in from the angels, so I think it might be really important for you to watch that reading. Best quality I inherited from my mother. Aw, guys, we've got the love card, and I think that's just so beautiful. And you've got another lion here. So you've got lion spirit animals sort of running through your reading here. And this is a really beautiful and deep, meaningful love. And this could be the love that you felt from your mother. You know how they're like curled up, you know, like almost like as a child where you were reading a book and you're sitting in your mom's lap. Or if somebody, like if your mother loved you enough to you know, gift you to a family that was better able to take care of her or take care of you because she was unable to for whatever reason. Or, you know, if your mom is deceased and departed, you know, she's still sending you this really divinely balanced love here This is a beautiful card, you guys. And this is the love that your mother really wants you to take forward. Even if for some of you, she was not able to express it with the Three of Air. It's almost like she was surrounded, it's kind of like she was walking in a mist. Like, I'm really being reminded of that movie, The Others, where they're walking in a mist and they couldn't really find each other and everybody was lost. And that's how I really feel like your mother truly was underneath everything else that was shown. So this quality to love is going to shine through from her, even if it was really distant and you only saw it sort of as a beacon of, almost like a spotlight sometimes. What are those things called? Oh boy, that's going to evade me, Anyway, let's move on so you don't have to watch my blank stare. Lighthouse, thank you, finally. So what is the worst quality I inherited from my mother? The King of Fire. So the King of Fire, this guy is really moving from thing to thing. This is a really strong character, but this is also somebody that can hand things off before they're quite finished, right? To somebody else. He likes to have a sense of accomplishment and then move on. So if your mother was like that and she felt like things were okay, it's 80%, I'm gonna move on. Do you know what I mean? It was sort of like always chasing the next thing. That could have been imparted down to you, where you can't quite finish things, or you're always just looking for happiness in the next thing. I'll be happy when I get that. I'll be happy when I live there. I'll be happy when I'm married. I'll be happy when. So I'm seeing that, and it's not a great quality. It's nice to have ambition and want to always chase success, but if the chasing is what is making you happy, then you'll always be chasing something. So to be able to find the happiness in the stillness is maybe going to be a bit of a challenge, because somebody that is always going to say that their happiness is related to something that is never there, then they're never happy. So maybe look at that a little bit, you guys. And what did my mother hope for me? So we've got the Hermit card here. So your mother really wanted you to be a whole being and know who you are. And the Hermit is a beautiful card. It doesn't mean that you're going to go live in a cave in the Arizona desert or anything like that. It means that you're going to be really in touch with yourself and connected to your spiritual side. I think that the Hermit card is a really beautiful message for you guys, that your mother really wanted you to feel sort of the wholeness that she never felt, because you can see here, I really feel like she felt distanced from other people, and like she was sort of more ethereal and not really appreciated for who she was. Even if she never felt it. And if she's still alive, then she continues to feel that way. So with the Hermit card, you really get to be in touch with who you are at a core level, and understand who you are, and be in touch with nature and spirit and the universe, source, God, and so I think this is a really beautiful card, even if it looks pretty bleak with the door closed. If you really want to know more about the Hermit card, you guys, I really strongly suggest that you can just go look that up, right? Punch in the Hermit card and you'll get all the details, but I just want to keep on going here. So what did my mother have to sacrifice for me? So the Queen of Earth. So maybe she gave up some big goal. And you know what? I'm not really surprised that I'm seeing sort of a running theme here. When I'm pulling this position for a lot of the signs, it's the Queen of Earth, she's really focused and oriented on her goals and moving forward and building her own life. And she has this vision, right? So, and this could depend on the age of your mother too, right? So I think somebody, in my age group or a little bit older, there wasn't really decisions to be made. It was you were a stay-at-home mom, or, it just wasn't, it was frowned on for women to do both. But now as we're approaching and people in like different generations than me, like younger generations, it's entirely possible, and it's heralded, you know, it's accepted. But I think that sometimes some women may have used well, I have to stay at home and take the kids, it's kind of take care of the kids, as a little bit of a scapegoat to abandon their dreams. But I really do see that there was a choice made here, and it could have actually rocked your mother a little bit. I think for some of your mothers, there could have been a little bit of postpartum depression, which would really explain this Three of Air, and never really feeling connected to everybody around them again. And postpartum depression is something that is really, it's not credited, like, and people misunderstand it. They just think that people lost their mind, like they had a baby and then they went crazy, you know what I mean? But if they're not diagnosed and looked after, they can really start to drift out to sea, like I was seeing with that sort of bobbing buoy earlier. And you know, there is a certain extent where maybe they feel like they were betrayed by people and not looked after. And you know, so there was something, she really had to give up a piece of herself for you, and she's not holding it against you, it's just she doesn't know what happened. Like, I feel like she's a little bit lost in the mist, you know what I mean? And like, you shouldn't feel bad about this, because this is part of her journey that she created before she came back here. But as a witness to this, it might help you understand that there was nothing that you could have done. It's not your fault. Like, this is the whole purpose. It's called a mother wound reading for a reason. So you guys can kind of sit back and be on the bleachers and sort of observe the situation more detached and go, oh, okay, well, that's why that happened, and things will start to make sense, and you can release that karma. And what lesson did my mother learn because of me? The Three of Fire, which is absolutely beautiful, you guys. Like, she really did learn that, you know, life is a journey, and that there's always going to be something beautiful ahead to look forward to. I really love this because it's taken her from, you know, this Three of Air energy where she's looking away, you know, she's standing in the mist and she can't figure anything out. But, you know, she's she's able to see, you know, through your eyes now, and that there's always going to be another step in the journey. You know, and you really have given her hope on her path, wherever she is right now. So you have 2 3s here, guys, also. So please look up angel numbers 33 after that, because the angels really are very close to you in this reading right now. And they have a really strong message for you guys, that even if your maternal figure, whether she was absent or present, may have been distant, or it seemed like something was missing, they really had nothing to do with you. You just were like a forced audience. Do you know what I mean? But she does pour all of her hope into you now, no pressure. You know, and there's room for her on your journey. So this is a really pretty profound reading. And, you know, please go ahead and look up that Emperor reading. It's just going to be in your signs folder on my video playlist. I think it could really help you too. So Gemini, I'm going to wrap it up, and I hope that you were able to get some healing from this reading, because that was the whole purpose of doing it. So guys, take care of yourselves. Bye for now. Bye.